a circle begins. In a meadow by a snow-melt creek, where hands weave a house of thin green saplings. It is a way of song, a way of breathing, a pure womb to enter oneself through sweat, a way of blessing and being blessed, a circle of humility, prayer, and asking. And there are no clocks to measure time, but the beating of our singing hearts. And that is a poem by Harold Littlefield from the Laguna Santo Domingo Pueblo. Welcome. Welcome to the Sunday platform of this Assembly of the American Ethical Union. I also want to recognize that we are on the land of the Laguna Pueblo, and we thank them for their permission to be here today. I know some of you have said that you've already been researching who was on the lands where your societies are before you came, and that you will make it a practice and a new tradition in your societies to thank those people, perhaps on a Sunday, perhaps another event that you might have at your society. I think that new tradition will awaken in more people that appreciation and that understanding. And I hope it will lead us to become the accomplices that they need us to be.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Randy Best, the leader of the Northern Virginia Ethical Society, and it's my pleasure this morning to introduce our speaker, Curt Collier. I remember when I first met Curt, when he was an intern at the St. Louis Ethical Society, and I was impressed that he was such a dynamic speaker, a deep philosopher, and he really got ethical culture. He increasingly sought to practice his ethical culture beliefs and take them outside of the meeting house. This led to his connection to Groundwork USA as a National Youth Program Director. He oversees youth projects in national parks that give youth a new opportunity for connection with nature and for connection with each other and to deepen their human experience. Curt's life puts ethical culture in action. Please join me in welcoming Curt Collier.
I am not an environmentalist who happens to be an ethical culture leader. I'm an ethical culture leader working in the medium of the environment. Just in the spirit of John Lovejoy Elliott, I have decided to take the call of Adler out to different sites and to use my training in a way to do what we are all set out to do, which is to build that culture that allows all to flourish. And that's what I think I'm here to do. But the world is not that great. We're here to talk about environmental justice, and sometimes I go, wow, it's almost too late, in a way, when you think about it. I mean, we live in a world right now where we only have 9% of our original forest across the United States. 9% is left since when the first Europeans came here and ran the land off the people who were much better caretakers of it than we are. However, things can always be turned around. My friends at the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation always like to point out that currently we live in the United States where your zip code is a bigger indicator of your future health prospects than your genetic code. We live in the United States where your zip code is a better indicator of your health than your genetic code at this current time. And it's true, if you look across the United States and you want to know where are the most egregious environmental justice sites, they tend to be in the communities of color. They tend to be wherever we have large populations of children living under in poor economic conditions. And it tends to be where we have the elderly. There's something wrong when you can make a prediction based on people's color or their age or their economic status to know where to look for environmental problems. What we need to do is making sure that we all have the same as everyone else, is to maintain that we all have the same right to employment, the same right to have our voice heard, the same levels of engagement. That's what those things mean. And so the new environmental justice movement is not so much about going in and building places, it's about real building people. But I have to tell you that I know that our deep connection, our ethical culture approach to environmentalism, which is building relationship, is working. Because I work with lots of youth. We all, mostly in Yonkers, New York, which is where I was doing a lot of my work, in the inner city there with kids of poverty, for the same kinds of challenged homes as ever, but full of enthusiasm and an energy and everything else that makes them so unique. And so I have been working with these youth for a dozen years, for 10 years, and I decided to look back and see when I left Groundwork Yonkers, what happened to these youth? Where did they go? What kind of impact did they have? I work with 2 principal high schools there, and the graduation rates are around 67% graduation. I was happy to see that all of them graduated high school. Now these are a self-selecting group and they're pretty motivated, but still these are in places where people have a lot of challenges and they all graduated. The college matriculation rate of the 2 high schools I work with is 23%. 98% of the college of the kids went on to college, which is unbelievable for that level. And of that, 57% went into environmental science-related fields, or science-related fields. It works. All of our societies should have some environmental committee to make sure that we're creating that broader place. I always think of ethical culture as gardeners. We're out there gardening in the landscape around us to build a place where all can nourish and survive. And a big piece of that is the environment, because zip codes are a better determiner of your health than your genetic code. And we need to make sure that when we do that work of ethical culture, that we're creating places. We have the tools now. It's not just building a place, by the way, it's investing in people, it's giving them tools, it's coming back to celebrating community, and then standing out of the way and letting them get the work done. Thank you so much.
We're going to move this order of service and the platform over into a little bit of ceremony. Ecology, for those who study it, it's loving the earth with your mind. You have a way of doing that. Some of us have that brilliance, and some might just love the aesthetic of it, and so they engage with the floral, and they enjoy just being next to the water and the sun. And so I want to give us an opportunity today to engage with nature, to engage with the world around us and hold it in its most sacred space, and also allow for it to be important in a way that we probably have not thought about. With the help of colleagues and the leaders of ethical culture, we were able to bring in from the land, earth. I have over here water. I have here soil. Curt talked about building, so we're going to build something today. Are we good with that? Yeah. And we have here seeds. I'm going to ask that the leaders that are here from their societies to please come. If you are a leader of a society, please come. Stand behind the table. Ethical culture is a place to grow. If you're not growing, that's a problem. Now, this beautiful side over here will handle the soil. When you come, you will take soil from the earth and of the earth and pour it back into the earth like so. At the same time, on this side, the water, the refreshingness, not wanting to be wasteful. That is why we're giving it back to the earth and allowing for something to grow from it. We will take this amount of water at the same time as that, and two people should be standing here. And they will pour the water in while the soil is being poured in at the same time.